Nope, as usual I forgot something. Again. This time I really mean it. This time I'm not joking. Well, sometimes I'm joking. Well, once or twice I was joking around. But I said I forgot something. Wow, now I've actually lost something. Oh, there it is. I'll be needing this later. All right. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. Okay, some of you probably already noticed that I had to shave my whiskers off. Well, that's for my job because I have to wear a respirator and I had to pass a test, the respirator test. And I passed, yay! God, this job has so many tests. And there's still another welding test that's supposed to come back. But they've already put me to work. And, man, touch wood, I survived this place because I'm off to a rough start. Oh, yeah, it's kind of, I feel kind of like I'm in a pressure cooker a little bit there. I mean, on my other jobs in the past, yeah, there are days where they want something done, and you're like, God, freaking out. I'm freaking out trying to get it done. And usually, God, 99% of the time I would come through. And then later you find out it wasn't as important as, as they tried to make it sound. Curses on them, huh? So, anyway, this is going to be my new look for, hopefully, for quite a while, because as long as I'm employed there, I probably will have to keep fairly clean shaven. I mean, a little stubble's okay, but I can't have my whiskers. Which was my look. The woman that I liked it. The woman that shall not be mentioned liked it because it hid my ugly face. But she loved me anyway for a while. Then she hated me. But it wasn't because of my face. Although a lot of you do hate me because of my face, huh? Anyway, no, it goes much deeper than that, doesn't it? So, anyway, trying to keep this short and sweet. I'm using a different recording device. Actually, I'm using my $19 iPhone. And time to don the fez. Oh, by the way, I'm re-recording this because I totally messed up the last one. Yeah, what happened is the recording device here, I guess I touched something and I stopped recording, so I was talking for about like 20 minutes without recording anything. So I only got first half of Fez Night, and the rest of it was just went out into space, went out into the air. Time to, whoops, let's do that again. Time to don the fez. If I seem a little bit rushed, I'm just trying to, yeah, jam this in. Make Fez Night short and sweet, right? Time to don the fez. Greetings, fellow citizens, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night should be called, Hey, Hey, It's Fez Night. Well, all kinds of stuff has happened in the news, but I'm not going to talk about the news. Wacky John has had a birthday. I was a little bit ambivalent. Is that the right word? This thing at Facebook comes up and reminds you, oh, so-and-so's having a birthday. So you go by and you wish him happy birthday. And sometimes, John, I really don't like you. You really get under my skin. But I know that at heart you're a good guy. Sometimes you just so annoy me. So I went over there and wished him a happy birthday, and I even thought about it. I said, happy birthday, John. I didn't call him Wacky John to just try and show him a little respect. But then again, maybe he likes Wacky John. I mean, he's Wacky John. Right? Right, Wacky John? If you're watching this, I just want to say some stuff about Pope Francis and the religious right in the United States here. You know, that they're so-called, oh, these great good Christians like Sarah Palin trying to save Christmas and all this. And they go the opposite of Christ's teachings. Now, I was raised a Protestant. My mother was converted from Catholicism when she was a young woman. So I kind of grew up around and sort of like a little bit anti-Catholic, at least coming from my mother. I remember one day I found it might have been, I don't remember what it was, but it might have been a St. Christopher medal or something on the playground. And my mother smashed it with a hammer. Talk about an iconoclast. I remember thinking, wow, this is silly. In a way, it does reek of being superstitious, doesn't it? And, you know, it's kind of a waste, but that's the sort of like intensity of it. And my mother had that. My father, not at all. So even though I have said that I went through a phase there where I called myself an agnostic, since then I've sort of come around, and but I don't attend any church. In fact, organized religion is just so full of corruption. I think it just gets so far away from what it's supposed to be, and hence one of the biggest organized Christian, or probably the biggest organized Christian church is the Catholic Church. So most of the time, you know, there's a new pope or whatever, what the hey, whatever. But Pope Francis is saying things and doing things that are good. And he's gotten attacked by the right in this country, Rush Limbaugh. Sarah Palin said something, and she said, oh, the stuff he's saying, he sounds kind of liberal. And then she retracted it. Like, calling him a liberal is like an insult. But to them it is. And a lot of times when I get in arguments with people on the right, I do pull the religion card, the Christian card, because I remember enough from Sunday school and the things like turning the other cheek and you know, watching out for the poor, and those that you do to the least of us is what you do to me. Or see, I don't remember the quotes exactly, but I do remember the gist of it. You know, it is harder for a rich man to. It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is a rich man to enter heaven. So Christ's teachings does sort of speak out against the rich, doesn't it? Okay? And the religious right, for Pope Francis pointing this out, people like Rush Limbaugh attack him and call him a Marxist. But I've argued it before. So the reason why I do this is we know how the Christian right is. They would like to say that they're the religious ones. They're the ones that follow Christ's teachings, but they do the opposite. And if you're a left of center, liberal Christian, you are closer to what the original Christian church was all about. And over the centuries, now the Franciscan movement, that was all about giving away all worldly goods. That was closer to what Christ taught. Of course, the Franciscan movement basically got quashed by all the other segments of the early church. Know how I know that was from watching The Name of the Rose. Did I have the title right? Sean Connery and a young Christian Slater. It's sort of like a murder mystery in a monastery. Very cool movie. Very cool movie. I got that from other sources too, but that sort of brings it in there. You know, a little example of what happened to the Franciscan segment of the early church. And so that's one of the criticisms of all the wealth that's concentrated in the Vatican. You know, you think about it. So the whole idea, this is a long tradition of Christians calling themselves Christians, claiming to do work in the name of Christ, and yet doing the opposite of what Christ would have done. And so that's it for my sermon. I'm going to wind it up. Is anything happening on YouTube? No, YouTube is dead. Oinky made a video, that crazy Oink, and he gave me a shout out, but he called me flower pot head. But I'm just acknowledging that. And is there anything else I need to acknowledge? No. I mean, from anybody else. No. Oh. Anyway, all right. This is citizenkong. By the way, so we know that to don the fez, to don something is to put it on. Like, don we now our gay apparel. You know, I hate Christmas. But all the religious homophobes should think, in the tradition of Christmas, that people are supposed to put on gay apparel, okay? Remember that. And so, and to remove one's fez is to doff. Doff the fez. You know, fezes aren't good for tipping. You know, there's no brim. So I could grab mine by the tassel and doff the fez. But I will not start a tradition of doffing the fez on Fez Night. No, and I will simply say, thank you for watching another Fez Night. Oh no, I ended at that. Thank you for watching. Hey, hey, it's Fez Night. Have a great week. Cheers.